warm welcome to you here on TV News Hour on TV Sapientia. The headlines. The Nigerian Association of Medical and Dental Academics has debunked rumors that its members are on strike. Nigeria has assumed the chairmanship of the Intergovernmental Group of 24. Cape Verde and Ghana turned from zeros to heroes among supporters by qualifying this week for the 2026 World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. My name is Chioma Victoremeka. Thank you so much for joining us. The news in full. The Nigerian Association of Medical and Dental Academics has debunked rumors that its members are on strike. The association clarified its position in a statement jointly signed by its president, Dr. Nusa Lansi Ohwe, Secretary General, Dr. Abdurrahman Shehu, and National Liaison Officer, Organizing Secretary, Dr. Muhammad Askira. On Wednesday, that's today, in Abuja. NAMDA is the trade union for medical lecturers in universities, tertiary health and research institutions. It is responsible for undergraduate and postgraduate medical education, including the training of medical doctors and dentists in Nigeria. The association reaffirmed that it remains an independent union with the capacity to negotiate its interests and uphold mutual respect. It said the clarification became necessary following persistent inquiries from members, the press, and the public regarding its stance on the ongoing withdrawal of services by another academic union in the university system. The House of Representatives on Tuesday yesterday urged the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, to urgently return to the negotiating table to resolve the ongoing dispute that led to the declaration of a 2-week warning strike by the union. The House's resolution followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by the member representing Badagry Federal Constituency of Lagos State, Oluwaseun Winham, during plenary. ASUU had on Monday begun a 2-week warning strike over the federal government's alleged failure to address long-standing issues, including the implementation of 2009 ASUU Federal Government of Nigeria Agreement, revitalization funding, earned academic allowances, salary structure, and university autonomy. Before the commencement of the strike, the Minister of Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, had assured us that the President Bola Tinubu administration was in the final stage of talks with ASUU to resolve all outstanding matters. Moving the motion, Winham expressed deep concern over the renewed strike, warning that such industrial actions have historically escalated into prolonged shutdowns that disrupt academic calendars, derail research, and deepen the frustration of students, parents, and lecturers alike. Away from that story, at least 3,500 foreign nationals with expired visas have approached the Nigerian Immigration Service to either regularize their documents or opt to leave the country following the federal government's 5-month visa amnesty program designed to help irregular migrants regularize their stay. Speaking at a stakeholder sensitization on expatriate quota reform, new visa regime and post-amnesty program held at the service headquarters in Abuja, Assistant Comptroller of Immigration, DN Olarewaju, said of the 3,500 visa overstayers who presented themselves for the process, 597 registered, with 455 opting to voluntarily exit Nigeria and 142 regularizing their stay. In June 2025, the federal government said it will activate an online immigration amnesty portal to allow foreigners who have overstayed their visas to legalize their stay before stiff penalties take effect on 1st of August. However, the deadline was extended to October 1. We'll take a break right now. When we return on the news, 4 former members of Operation Udo Ga-achi security agency have been arraigned before the Children, Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Courts of Anambra State, sitting in Awka. These and other stories will come your way after this time out. Stay with us. Glad to have you still here with us on the news. 4 former members of the Operation Udo Ga-achi security agency have been arraigned before the Children's Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Court of Anambra State, sitting in Awka. in a 7-count charge brought against them by the Anambra State Commissioner of Police, the former Udo Ga-achi operatives, namely Emmanuel Samson, age 29, Udo Ga-achi, 43, Michael Nduderemo, 28, Ezewan Nweke, 27, Emeka Emetumba, Nwanne Afuono, and others now at large were accused of conspiring to commit felony, to wit, indecently assaulting, willfully inflicting physical injuries, stripping naked, and unlawfully intimidating a female member of the National Youth Service Corps at Oba, Idemili North Local Government Area of Anambra State. All the 4 defendants pleaded not guilty to the charges. Following bail application made by the Defense Counsel, the presiding Chief Magistrate, His Worship U.E. Onochie, in charge of the Children's Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Court of Anambra State, granted bail to the 4 defendants and adjourned the case to the 14th day of January 2026 for definite hearing. Nigeria has assumed the chairmanship of the Intergovernmental Group of 24. The federal government has pledged to amplify the voices of developing nations and drive inclusive global economic reforms when it formally takes office on November 1, 2025. This was disclosed in a series of posts by the Central Bank of Nigeria on its official X handle today, Wednesday. The G24, which was formed in 1971, brings together developing nations to forge common positions on global monetary policy and development financing, ensuring their collective voice is heard in international economic decision-making. The CBN Governor, Olayemi Cardoso, on behalf of the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, reiterated Nigeria's commitment to strengthening the voice of the G24 as a catalyst for inclusive dialogue and reform. Finally, we move to sports. Cape Verde and Ghana turned from zeros to heroes among supporters by qualifying this week for the 2026 World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Both Cape Verde, a tiny archipelago of about 550,000 inhabitants, with no football titles to boast of, and full-time continental champions Ghana failed to qualify for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. But the disappointment at missing the premier African football tournament has been forgotten as Cape Verdeans and Ghanaians celebrate that they will be part of the expanded 48-team World Cup next year. The 5 talking points after Cape Verde and Ghana were joined by Algeria, Egypt, Ivory Coast, Morocco, Senegal, South Africa, and Tunisia as the 9 automatic African qualifiers. Cameroon, Gabon, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Nigeria have qualified for a November mini-tournament, and the winners advance to intercontinental playoffs in March, with 2 World Cup places up for grabs. Well, that'll be all. And that's the news. A quick reminder of our top stories. We told you that the Nigerian Association of Medical and Dental Academics has debunked rumors that its members are on strike. Nigeria has assumed the chairmanship of the Intergovernmental Group of 24. Cape Verde and Ghana turned from zeros to heroes among supporters by qualifying this week for the 2026 World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Thank you for joining us today on this News Hour on TV Sapientia. My name is Chioma Vicchukwemeka. Ensure that you have the most interesting midweek ahead of you. Stay with us.